Our next guest is coming to us from Jamestown, New York, in the National Comedy Center, which is just down the road. Hahn is with us, Vice President of the Center. Gary, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
And we're here to talk about the recent passing of Tom Smothers of the Smothers Brothers.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about their comedy, their legacy.
They had such an incredible legacy. They're probably the most enduring, longest-lasting comedy duo in comedy history. Over 60 years, Tom and Dick Smothers, from the late 50s all the way till we brought them together at the Comedy Center in 2019, where they cut the ribbon on their archives, and they performed at Chautauqua Institution for the first time in about 10 years. And so it was a sad moment last week to lose Tom. But their legacy lives on, and we're proud to be preserving their legacy and telling their story.
And the center brought them back in 2019 for the 50-year anniversary of when they were taken off CBS, right? That was
Yes.
a big kind of controversy.
Always remember,
Tommy said we weren't canceled, we were fired, and they were very outspoken. They were really ahead of their time in. I saw someone talk about how most variety shows, comedy shows on network television at that time were an escape, pure entertainment. And they were entertainment too, but they were also talking about real issues. They were talking about the Vietnam War and civil rights and racism, and they were satirizing the politics of the day, President Johnson and then President Nixon. So they talked about real things. And but not everybody liked that.
Yeah, right.
And it got a little rough. They were about 3 years before Norman Lear and All in the Family, and they were taken off the air because essentially they were very outspoken.
Yeah, and they went on to really talk about the importance of the freedom of speech
Yes.
and expression in their art form, which was comedy.
That's right, and they really led the way. And so much of comedy, it's so to push boundaries, to talk about today's current events. I mean, before Saturday Night Live, before The Daily Show, before I think monologues on late night shows really were hard hitting about current events, there were the Smothers Brothers leading the way on that.
And you still have that exhibit that they helped cut the ribbon
Yes.
for standing now at the
Yes,
center.
and we talk all about freedom of expression and how important the Smothers Brothers were. They're right in our first gallery. We have Tommy's guitar and Dickie's bass, and we have letters from between President Johnson and Tom Smothers corresponding with each other, and we have some of the legal papers because they essentially sued CBS and won several years later for being taken off the air. So it talks about very important things, but they were entertainers, they were musicians, they were funny, and we talk about that as well.
And again, the center owns the Smothers Brothers archives.
Yes.
I mean, and this is priceless stuff. This is timeless stuff that you have on display. What, a 40-minute drive from Erie here?
That's right. We're only 40 minets away, and it's not only the Smothers Brothers, but it's George Carlin and Don Rickles and Carl Reiner, Johnny Carson, In Living Color. And so much for kids and families to do too. Lots of very interactive and a lot of fun.
And I mean, this time of year, so many people are looking for that thing to do inside that's nice and warm. It doesn't depend on the weather, and that's the National Comedy Center just down the road in Jamestown, New York. Gary, thanks for being here.
Thanks so much.
And sharing a little bit about the Smothers Brothers and all that you have there. We'll be right back.